This conference
Yes.
will now be recorded.
Okay, guys, so let's continue the same topic, tables. Before I start working with tables concept again, and let me recollecting the things what we discussed on tables. What is the table, guys? Table is nothing but collection of records. So table, nothing but it's a kind of application. It may be a new application or a new device. Just a second, guys. Okay. So now let's talk about continue the same topic, tables. Table is nothing but collection of records, and there we can configure the different fields into the table and columns into the table. So table nothing but it's an application. Okay, so basically we have two types of tables. One is a base table or predefined table. Second one is a custom table. So base table or predefined table can be defining which are implemented by ServiceNow itself, and a custom table so is implemented or created by ServiceNow developer in your organization. Okay, so while created any, like already we seen how to create new custom table and how we can delete a custom table. So while deleting any custom table, first of all, you should delete all the records associated to particular custom table. Then we can delete all the records from table. Don't delete any table like a table directly from instance. It's not recommended. And already we discussed about schema map. Schema map can be defining or they are defining the relation between one table to other table. Already we seen that relation between one table to other table. Okay, and the next one, so go to working with that dictionary override. And what is the importance of task table? Task table is the parent table of incident, problem, and change. Task table is the parent table of incident and problem and change. So why the extended incident, problem, and change table with task table? So what are the common fields are required for incident, problem, and change? Those all the fields already created in task table. So while creating incident, problem, and change, so every table record we have one field, right? Extended table. So they are extended with that particular table. Okay, clear guys? And next one, suppose go to incident table, create new. So we have a different fields over here in my incident table, and assign to field make mandatory. When you want to assign to field make mandatory, so right click on that label, go to configuration dictionary. There are multiple ways to field make mandatory. Okay, basically the assign to field is coming from its table, task table, right? So when you enable the checkbox mandatory, click on update. What happened? Just you can notice assign to field is made mandatory in incident table. If you go to problem also, click on create new problem. Okay, the changes are replicated to problem. I think might be overriding. And if you go to change, might be they are already implemented something into that. Navigated to change, and open any change record. Okay. See, assign to field is mandatory. Basically, assign to field is coming from which table? Task table. When you field make like a made mandatory in that particular task table or parent table, those changes are replicated to child tables also. But the requirement is the assigned to field is only mandatory for incident table. I don't want to apply to problem and change. How can you achieve this requirement? So again, navigate it to incident, click on create new, navigate it to incident and click on create new. So now let me back out the changes, go to configuration dictionary, disable, just wait until form loaded, disable and update. Okay, so when you made a field mandatory through configuration dictionary, the changes are applicable like applied to all the tables which are extending from task table, right? But the requirement is assigned to field make mandatory in all incident table. Don't want to apply to problem and change. How to achieve this requirement? If you directly go to configuration dictionary and when you like enable this checkbox, changes like the field is mandatory for all the tables. So instead of doing this one, scroll down and go to dictionary override section or tab, and already they have implemented something into incident table, right? And go to here and assign to field is mandatory. So they operate something, right? Now I'm going to override mandatory and mandatory. Override mandatory means already you are done mandatory through parent table. So now I want to override that one again, do mandatory. Okay, and you need to enable the checkboxes mandatory, override mandatory. Okay, and go to, let me check now. See, Einstein like assigned to field is now it is showing as mandatory. And now back to problem. It's not applying to any other tables. And go to all and open any incident ticket. It's not applying to other tables. That is the importance of dictionary override. Let me open the documentation.
Sir, in dictionary override, you have enabled mandatory and override mandatory, but it's a mandatory only in incident form, but not
Yes,
in problem and change. But
no,
we are nowhere mentioned incident, right? So how it is taking only to incident? I think I missed it.
just wait. So dictionary overrides. So dictionary overrides can provide the details about the field on extended table differently from the field on the parent table. For example, so you are navigated to incident table. Okay, open the form. The requirement is assigned to field make mandatory. Assigned to field is make mandatory for only incident table, not applied to problem and change. So right click on that assign to and go to configuration dictionary. Configuration dictionary will be like showing all the details about your dictionary entry, like assigned to field details. Basically, assigned to field is coming from which table? Task table, right? Assigned to field is coming from task table. So when you fill mandatory through like a mandatory checkbox, what happened? It can be replicated to all the tables because the assigned to is coming from task table. Task table is the parent table of incident, problem, and change. So when you fill mandatory directly in task table, automatically it is replicated to the all the change tables. But I don't want to apply like that. So I want to only the field mandatory in incident table. That is what I did, and this incident like a record has been already created. Okay, so this dictionary overriding is applying to which field assigned to field. Okay, so these all are the like digital override components. So you want to apply the components for which one, that may be mandatory or read only or display or calculations, and over a default value or any attributes or any independent anything, right? Clear?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. After dictionary override, you clicked on incident, so I missed that part. Sorry, sorry. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I
So
I was
first,
noting something.
and you can do one thing or else. For example, something already they have implemented is the override record, right? And don't create the multiple dictionary override records. So what are the components you want to overriding? So those components we can directly use it. And if you don't want to use an existing one, so you can be able to delete it. And if you delete this dictionary override record, it won't apply to any table. And again back to incident table. So not applying to any table, right? Now assigned to also empty. Okay. So now again I'm going to create a dictionary override. Right click, go to configuration dictionary. The requirement is assigned to field is mandatory. If you enable the checkbox, it is applied to all tables because assigned to field is coming from task table. If you field mandatory through in task table, what happened? Applying to incident, problem, change, all. But requirement is different. So at assigned to field is mandatory, non incident table. How can you configure it? Go to dictionary override, create new dictionary override, and your dictionary override on which table? Override on incident table the field, so we have to select, otherwise it won't applicable. Okay, and then so these all are components allowing to overriding your behavior. Okay, so override mandatory. So why they're given the checkbox override mandatory? If you already done that particular field mandatory, first of all that should be overriding, then again mandatory, and submit it, update, and again go to. See, assigned to field is mandatory. If you go to the problem, if you go to problem or any other tables, it won't apply. See, that is the importance of dictionary override. Any questions, guys? It's most important in interview also. Very frequently, we are going to working with dictionary overrides in real case. That's why we have to get the experience on hands on. Okay, clear, guys? Any questions up to now in table? Any questions, guys, up to now? Any questions? Yes, please respond. Any questions up to now? If you say no, I can jump into another topic.
Yeah, I'm fine, sir.
Okay. Let's move on. Another topic is user management. So user management is comes under complete user administration. User administration is the completely can defining that only the core admin activities. So what are the activities I'm doing in user management or administration? Those all like activities that comes under user activities, like admin activities. Okay. So user administration overview. So managing the individuals who can access your instance by defining them as users in the system, that may be creating users or a group and working with roles, assigning the roles to the person or group, and how we can assigning that like members to the group, how we can add the members to the group, how can you remove the members from the group. So these are all activities we do with user administration. So best practice of assignment roles. If you want to assign a role to the person or group, so which is always best practice? Group is the best practice. For example, 100 members are working in the same department. As a ServiceNow developer or administrator, if you want to assign a role to all 1000 members manually, it is time consuming process. Instead of doing that, so you can create one group, you can add all members to that group, then we can assign a role to the group level. Automatically, the role can be applicable to all users who are present in respective group. This is the like a very important question in interview also. So which is the best practice? Okay, to assigning the role. So now let's start quickly as to how to create a user into ServiceNow. It is a pretty much simple topic, but very important. Every ServiceNow administrator or developer very frequently working with user management application or user administration. Okay, so now I'm going to show how to create like a user in ServiceNow. So before I start working with user management, first of all, you would like to know how many types of user interfaces are offering by ServiceNow. ServiceNow is contain basically three user interface. One is user interface. Second one is ITIL user interface. One is administration. ServiceNow is going to offer basically three interfaces. One is end user. Second one is ITIL user. Third one is administrator. Okay, so practically I can show what is the end user interface, what about ITL user, what about administration. Based on that your role assignment, the people will get this particular user interface. Okay, now I'm going to creating a user. How you can create users into ServiceNow? There is an application called user administration. Navigate to user administration, click on users, and these all users already existing in my user table. So almost we have 676 users are already present in my user table. These all are demo data. I did not create any single user record into this table. Okay, now I'm going to create new user record. Click on new. So my name, my ID is Srinivas as first name is Srinivas, last name is S. You can select that title according to your designation, department also as well, and then we can configure the password. So while creating any user record, and always we have to provide the common password for every user. So when this person try to log into this particular new instance, so they have to using this username and password. And first time, if you are logged into this instance, first time the system will be asking to reset the password. So how the system can ask reset the password? So the administrator must be enable the checkbox password needs to be reset to avoiding the security violations. And Outlook mail address we can provide here. If not required, leave it out. And English is the common language, universal language. This service now user record always syncing with one mail, right? That mail we have to select it, and this mail already configured in organization, and the person is time zone, which time zone is located, and date format, everything we can configure it. And if you want to add any like a person picture like this, you can add it. Okay, then submit. So when you create any new user record into instant like a ServiceNow instance, so automatically system will be create one primary email device. This primary email device is nothing but it's a kind of internal communicate channel. One channel will be created that is used to communicating with each other. Okay, so primary email device has been created for Srinivas S. Okay, now I'm going to log out. Now I'm going to log in with Srinivas credentials. Okay, so Srinivas credentials I can say to Srinivas. Srinivas need to be logged in into ServiceNow instance using my those credentials. And now my username is Srinivas S and password is the common for everyone. And first of all, I'm going to providing common password. And when this person first time logging into my instance, the system is asking to reset the password. Okay, in real case also, how the system is asking to reset the password. When I created a user record, just I have enabled one checkbox called password needs to be reset. That must be enabled. Don't forget it. And now I'm going to provide my current password. I'm going to reset with new password and submit. Now, like a Srinivas is
Sir,
successfully logged into my instance. Yeah, please.
it is asking every time when we are login or first time
I'm saying about first time only. Okay.
new password and
When
okay.
Srinivas is logging into this instance in first time. Okay. Not every time. Can I show that? Log out. I'm using the Srinivas as so I'm try to logging into my instance second time, right? It's not asking second time, right? Clear? Somebody asked the question. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. It will ask only first time. Okay. Now Srinivas is successfully logged into my instance. Srinivas is the end user. How the system can understand the Srinivas is end user? When I created as administrator, when I created the Srinivas user record, I did not assign any role to the person. If you are not assign any role to the person, automatically the person will become an end user. Simple. ServiceNow is going to offer three user interfaces. One is end user, second one is ITL user, third one is administrator. When you created any end user, if you are not assign any role to this person, automatically this person will become a end user. As administrator or ITL user, how we come to know This is end user. End user will be able to access only one application, that is called self-service. So now end user is logged into my instance. Okay, so end user is able to access only one application called self-service. This is reminding or like a self-service applications like password. Everybody need to be reset the password from this application, this module, and connecting like a toggle connect sidebar, live feed tracking, target communications. But so end user will be able to access only one application called self-service. This is also most important question in interview and CSC examination. Let's move on back to my system administrator. Who will create users in ServiceNow instance? Only ServiceNow administrator will be able to create users. And one more thing you should remember, when you create any user record, that user record can store into which table? Sys underscore user table. This is the most important common table which is very frequently using in ServiceNow instance. And please do remember the table name also. And now I'm going to create one more user record as administrator. Go to user administration and click on the users and create new user, and the user is satya.s and first name is Satya. If you already created the Satya user record, and at this moment I am providing the duplicate details. So when you are going to creating the duplicate user record, system is saying that error message, and it is saying, giving the error message, it is saying this record is already existing user table. Okay, Satya is first name and S is last name, and the title is IT technician, and department is IT, and the common password I'm going to providing India at 123. Okay, and you have to must be enable password needs to reset. This moment I'm not going to enable this checkbox, just you can notice what happened, and the language select it, and remaining details also we can provide as per the requirement. Okay, and now this person I want to become a ITIL user. Primary email device has been created for Satya also. Okay, this person I want to become a ITIL user. How this person become ITIL user? So when you want to assign a role, like when you want to become this person as an ITIL user, we have to assign a role called ITL. Go to role section, click on edit it. This person I want to become ITL user. If you assign ITL role to the person will become ITL user. Okay. What about this all, guys? What about this all the roles? Just have assigned only one role, right? ITIL. ITIL is the main role. These all are inherited roles or child roles. When I assigned a ITL role to the person, automatically assigning the child roles also. So where they have done the configuration in role record. So we'll discuss later about the role when we like working on that. Okay. Now we can update it. Again, log out. In this moment I'm using satya.s and provide the password. And when I click on login, Satya also first time logged into instance, right? But system is not asking to reset the any password. What might be the reason behind it? You tell me, guys. Did you notice the difference? Enable the checkbox like without enable the checkbox. Clear? So now Satya is ideal user. Satya is able to access these all applications, almost 18 applications. Why Satya is like accessing these all 18 applications? So where they have done this background, I can show you tomorrow in when we're working with role concept. Okay, now I can log out and finally going to create one more user record. We'll create users in ServiceNow, only ServiceNow administrator. Administration nothing but admin rights. Who have that admin role, only those people can be able to create the admin password at the rate 123. And now I'm going to create one more user record, user administration and users, and I click on create new. And now Gautam.s. First name is Gautam, first name is S, title is junior developer. So according to the details, user details, you can fulfill all the required details and you can set a common password at the rate 123 like that. So while creating any user record, the developer must be enable the property password needs to be reset. Otherwise, system is not asking to reset the any password first time logging into instance. And remaining details you can fulfill it out and then assigning a role to the person. Primary email device has been created for Gautam S. Now Gautam, I want to become a administrator. How the Gautam can become IT like administrator? So we have to assign the role called admin. So admin can be able to access every application and component of modules which are available in the platform and update the record.
Sir,
Hey, please.
yes, sir. In the organization, there is only one admin, or the uh, more than one person has admin roles.
More than one person, right? Suppose we are all service administrators.
Yeah,
Okay, so every administrator will be able to create the user records. For example, I'm the new ServiceNow developer recently joined your project. You are already existing person. So who will create my user record in instance? You are only, right?
yeah, yeah. Right,
So which role you can assign to me? Admin role only because I'm the ServiceNow administrator, right?
right.
Okay. So
Yes.
now I'm going to creating like I already created Gautam and log out. So now Gautam is going to like a login into the instance, password and 123 login. So Gautam is logging into the first time. Okay. So now I have logged in with my Gautam credentials. So Gautam also one more ServiceNow administrator. He will be able to access every application and component feature which are available in ServiceNow platform. Even Gautam administrator like Gautam also will be able to create user record because he's a one more ServiceNow administrator. Based on the role assignment, the people will be get the application models like as usually. Okay. Clear guys up to now? Any questions? And now let's talk about ITL users. So who are the people comes under ITL? ITL. So who are the people already working in different operation departments? So those all are comes under ITL department, ITL users like network department, database department, and some extra etc. Any other department. Okay. So every other department people comes under ITL users. So when you assign ITL user, so the people will become a ITL. Okay. So when you assign admin role to the person, a person will become admin. Admin can be able to like access all the applications and modules. Clear guys up to now? Any questions? Any questions?
So once again, repeat the ITL.
Sorry.
Once again, repeat this ITL. Second
Once
interface.
again. Once again.
Repeat the ITL interface. Second one.
So ServiceNow is going to offer three interfaces. One is the end user. Second one is the ITIL user. Third one is administrator. How the system can understand who is the ITL user, who is the end user, who is administrator, based on the role assignment, right? For
Yes.
example, when you created any user record, if you are not assign any role to the person, so when I created one end user, that moment I did not assign any role to the person, right? That's why the person is became end user. What about ITL user? So, for example, in your project, different departments are going to work with Java department, Pega department, .NET department, Informatica department, ServiceNow, and some X department, right? So, this all the department people are comes under ideal users. So, while creating that particular department user record in the ServiceNow instance, so you have to assign the ITL role. When you assign that ITL role, automatically the person will become an ITL user. Okay.
Okay.
And what about administrator? So when you assign admin role to the person will become a administrator. So based on the role assignment, the people will get the all applications. Okay. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Tomorrow, I have a meeting at 9:45, an important meeting. Okay. Tomorrow I will be connected same time 9 o'clock, 9 to 10, and tomorrow we'll continue the same topic. Tomorrow I will working with groups and roles. Okay, guys. Thanks for your time. See you tomorrow.